live between two biomes on a Saturday afternoon.
4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Happy 4th of July to everybody.
Happy 4th of July to everybody. Yes.
Yeah. Happy 4th to you. Hopefully you have good fun plans this long weekend.
Yes. So we are going to go to the lake tomorrow.
Nice.
Playing any golf, but we are coming back actually somewhat early. Oops, I'm skipping ahead here. We're coming back somewhat early on the 4th because, my girls are getting older. So
yeah.
they want to hang out with their friends, go see the fireworks. Yep. We're really close to Hershey Park. Hershey Park has a great fireworks show.
Big fire. I can imagine we got a big fireworks display.
So I think I'm going to get back early enough to play golf with a couple of my buddies on the 4th.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, we've got some plans over the week. We're going to go down on the 3rd, actually. My wife started it, believe it or not. Years ago, one of her jobs was running a nonprofit there's a park right in the center of downtown Denver. It's right between the two seats of government, the city and county building and the state capitol, and in between the two is a giant park. And this was a nonprofit conservancy for activating the park and stuff. And one of the things that she brought was a Independence Eve, because there's already a bunch of shows going off on Independence Day or that night. So this is on the 3rd, and they do low fireworks off the roof of the building of the city and county building. So you sit in the park, they got a band, they got music going, and the symphony plays, and then they have fireworks going off right off the roof. So we'll be going down to that. And doing some grilling, and we'll probably find time, my daughter and I, to get out and play at least one round of golf between now and the end of the holiday. So
nice. Yeah, we're close enough that if we walk about 400 yards up the road, or a driver and a 9-iron, that that we can see the fireworks. Yes, yeah. that we can see the fireworks from the park. We can sit.
Nice.
And then now that we used to own a business in Hershey too, but the people that bought our business were still friendly. We can go there and watch the fireworks. Right. So it'll be a good time.
We do one of the things that we tend to do. My roof is flat. I have a fairly modern style house, and so we have a flat roof. And we're on a hill that kind of goes. So we sit fairly high up. And so we last year on the 4th. Brought a bunch of coolers up and chairs up to the roof, and we sat up there and you can see 360 around the whole area, and you can see nothing is close, so it's not like we're hearing the booms go off at the same time, but you can see in full 360 all the different fireworks going off around. It was really cool.
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
I do.
How's your dog with the fireworks?
Not good.
No,
fireworks, thunder. We are. This is going to sound weird. We are actually. My wife and I are going out. One of our errands this afternoon. We're going to try to get him a thunder vest. So it's a compression.
It's like a heavy blanket.
It's like a heavy blanket. It's a heavy vest you put on, and it kind of holds them a little tighter.
Yeah.
And he gets completely freaked out, and so we're gonna try that and see if that helps him get through some of the fireworks.
Ours does too, but if we put her in our basement, you can't hear much down there, and she's much better. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So big plans.
You got plans, so you're staying sober. Right.
I'm sober today. I've got my Gatorade bottle, which, by the way, I'm not sure why I paid $30 for a Gatorade bottle to put in stuff to make it where I can buy a $3 bottle of Gatorade. So, no, I'm drinking water because it is only 3:20 here. And we have a whole afternoon and evening of stuff planned, and I cannot be on the couch asleep for.
Well, my wife and I are going to be playing, like, Taxi because we have a huge concert. Zach Brown band is at Hershey
Zach Brown
Park.
Band, nice, yeah.
So, and we've got teenage girls, so they're all going, but of course they're not going together.
So you're going back and forth and
back and forth.
Shitty traffic is my guess.
Well, at least we know all the back roads. We know how to get around it, but it still takes a while to get around things, right?
Yeah.
But she'll drive, so not a big deal. So I'm the only one drinking. So I'm enjoying Run Pud Run's gift to me, which he sent me.
Oh, nice.
Which is my Willits whiskey, my Willet bourbon.
Willits is good. There's nothing. Yeah. Willits is a really good.
I actually broke this out and shared it with a couple of my buddies the other night. So Run Pud Run, thanks again for the bottle. Really appreciate it. Fantastic.
I'll tease you a little bit for probably in our next episode. A very good friend of mine who's in town this week for my birthday yesterday gave me a bottle of small batch bourbon out of Las Vegas I've never heard of before. So on a really cool bottle too. So I've got that one teased up, ready to go for our next recording.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
And then I had a mess up. So last week, if you recall, I said, whoa, things really slowed down. Turns out I ran the wrong report in my YouTube studio.
Happens to the best of us.
Things did slow down. They have, but not as much as I thought. So we are actually up to $48.61.
We're at
almost
a
halfway
fairly
there.
Okay bottle of bourbon.
Yes.
Almost, right?
Yes.
$48 we can get a kind of bottle of bourbon.
But as I said before, we do not get a check until we reach 100. So we can't cash in right now.
Can't cash in yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to take a picture of that. I can't wait to get a what's the Google's name now? It's not Google, it's Alphabet or
Alphabet.
something?
Well, it's still Google, but Alphabet owns Google.
Yes.
The Google is
So I'll be curious when we get our first paycheck, who's it going to be from? Google, or is it going to be Alpha, or is it going to be YouTube? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Good question.
So, well, we'll have
do they direct deposit into an account, or they actually send you a check?
They're sending me a check. You have to go through so much stuff. Like you have to file like a W-2. You have to like verify your address and verify. It's like actually a very complex process before you start.
It's going to show up on your taxes next year.
It is. It will. It is. I'm going to get taxed on whatever it is.
Let me know your tax bill, so I'll split it with you. Your burden, your tax burden for between two biomes.
Yes. So technically, once we make our 100, we really only have $60 to spend.
Yeah, exactly. How we give it to the government.
Yes.
Yep. Damn them taking bourbon out of my mouth.
Yes. So a golf story. I have a quick one, which I played this morning, and everyone knows I'm a fairly new golfer. Oh gosh.
Is this a PB round? Are we talking like you went out and shot 68?
Well, listen. Well, kind of. Yes. So I went out and in first 9 holes. It was not my home course. It was called Royal Oaks. It's in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I played there before, but first 9 holes, I shot a 41, which is
41 on the front's pretty good.
Solid for me. Really good.
Solid golf. Yeah.
Everything was actually. It's the first time I think I played where everything was just kind of coming together. I was driving. I was off the tee really well. My approach as well. I was putting really well.
Yep.
So I shot a 41 on the front. Guess what I shot on the back?
52.
58.
But did you have a 17? Did you have a 17 on one hole?
No. I did have 2 8s. Oh my gosh, Mashie. What the hell? What is it with golf? Why does everybody like this sport?
It is so hard to put to. It's so funny. People always complain. I played yesterday. I'll talk about that in a second. But it's always people always complain about. I need to put 2 shots together. I'd love to put 2 halves of a hole of a round together.
And the thing is, I started the very first hole birdie. And then actually after the first 9, I had no double bogeys. I've never done a round with no double bogeys. So I'm like, this could be the round.
Yeah.
No.
That's what happened. That's what happened. You took your eye off the ball. The only thing you should think about is the next shot in front of you, and not. Yeah. No,
so we play a game, and I'm going to bring it up in the feature request. The game that we played. So I'm not going to do it here, but we play a game, and we had a good time at that. But I'll bring it up later on. So. On with the show.
So I played yesterday too.
Oh, you did?
Quick. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I got out and I played as part of our men's club at my course. They call it an ISP. It's a stroke play, an individual stroke play event. And they group everybody up by handicap, and you get in your different flights and play.
Yep.
And so it was an interesting round. I ended up shooting an 84. I shot 42-42. So 84, pretty good for especially in tournament. You always little nervier on the first few holes in your tournament, like especially that first tee box. You're like, there's no one watching, but I'm playing with 3 other guys. I don't know these guys. They're very nice. We're all part of the same men's club, and I always feel like the first tee is always a hard shot to do on a tournament golf.
Yep.
But it was a ton of fun. The guys were great. Okay with the score. It was a weird round because I felt like nothing was really good, but nothing was really bad. Like I did have 1 double.
I would take that.
And it was kind of boring golf, as the Chasing Scratch guys would say. It was kind of boring golf. Like I I didn't hit a great drive, but the drive was fine. It was out there, it was in the fairway, it was a little shorter than normal, but that's okay. And then I didn't hit a great approach shot, but it rolled on the green. And the greens were the fastest I've seen them in years. Hardest and fastest. You couldn't get a single shot close because anything on the green hit and ran off. And it made it so much fun. I was telling you, like, I think we were talking on one of our earlier episodes, like I use sim distances. Like I know how hard to hit a 10-foot putt. I know how
Yeah.
hard to hit it
Yes. Yes.
on on a
Yes.
stimp 11, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so I was practicing before the round a 10-foot putt on what I would consider a stimp 11 in the sim. I know how hard to hit that.
Yep.
Was going 20 feet past.
Wow.
So I was literally on 10-foot putts. I was just tapping the ball to get it going, and it would literally stop at about 12 feet. It was
So you're on
crazy.
ice. You're on ice.
It was on ice. It was like hitting onto a cart path and then putting on
So
ice. It
I've
was
never
fun.
experienced anything like that, and I'm dying to like get that experience, like an Augusta like style like green. Like, but I would just want to
It,
like just I don't need to play around. I just want to putt a couple on that and just see what
I
it's
will
like.
tell you, it was funny because they had a state championship there this week. So that's why they had them rolled and shaved and everything. And I hit a putt. It was a 40-foot putt, and I hit it. And as soon as I hit it, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna leave that thing 20 feet short." It went in. Like when I hit it, I was like, "Oh my god, there's no way. I'm gonna now I'm three putting right," and it went in. It was that fast. So fun round, really good time, but got out yesterday and played.
Yeah, I'm dying to play some really fast greens. Not because I think I'll do good, just because I want to have the
It is an experience. I love fast greens, but you really have to think on every single putt. Like it's hard, but it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
Let's
go
go.
forward and let's talk about what came out to GSPro this week. So,
Thought it was going to be a slow week.
yeah. So,
And yeah,
and then some stuff started rolling in, right? I think Cook one was away, and then some things came in. So it wasn't the traditional like Monday, Thursday release.
Thursday.
It was like Wednesday, Friday. It was when
Yep.
things kind of came out.
Yep.
So
But
we
not too
have
many. I think we ended up with 6 courses
Yeah,
this
we got
week, if I
six,
remember.
half a
Yep.
dozen, which, honestly, when before the summer came along, I thought things would slow down a lot more than this. What's the fewest I think we've had in a week? 6, I think, right?
6. I think 6. I think this is the fewest. Yeah.
Yeah, I really thought we would get down to a week of like 2 or 4 and a couple weeks where we thought hey, let's just push to next week. But um so we got one by the great Bangini, who started, I think, recently doing commission courses. I think he started a Patreon.
Oh, did he?
So
Okay.
this might be a commission course.
I thought Jay Pruitt was doing that, or is he doing it as well?
Maybe he is as well, but I
I
thought,
saw Jay Pruitt also has. I saw a Facebook post, I think, by Jay Pruitt.
okay,
That I could be wrong, but I think Jay Pruitt is also doing Patreon now and
okay,
commission courses.
getting a little crowded there, isn't it?
There's competition out there.
Competition. Is it a race to zero? I don't know.
No.
But what's interesting here, this is Pottstown, PA, which is not far from me. Now it's a country club, so they probably won't let me in past the gate. But
Yep.
Brookside Country Club by the great Bangini.
Yep.
And then we got KSU Cat. So first course build at Missouri
Kansas.
Bluffs Golf Club by KSU
And we're
Cat.
assuming KSU is Kansas State.
It's got to be 96. So
And he
he must be
graduated in
96.
96.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
got to
probably
be.
class of 96. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
guess.
got to be. Yep. So congratulations,
And this is
KSU
his
Cat.
local course, is my guess.
Yes. Please let
Yep.
us know if this is your local course. And again, high five, congratulations, making it to the
Yep.
finish line and getting something published.
Yep. And he'll go blue with this one.
He did. He did go blue.
He
So
did
what
go
I
blue.
do is when I see people's first score, I let Sting know, and then he promotes them.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Congratulations.
yes.
Congratulations on blue. That's awesome.
Yep. And then another new blue, Orchard Hills, Granite Falls, North Carolina by Strong Design Studio.
Now, do we know who on Discord Strong Design Studio is?
I think it's Strong Design Studio.
It's Strong, but we don't know. Okay, got it. Okay, I don't remember seeing his name pop up on Discord. So
I think it's Batman.
I think it's Batman.
I don't know. What is his real identity? Is it Bruce Wayne? I don't know.
It might be unseen because we can't see him.
But I think he is Strong Design Studio on Discord as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
It was interesting because I get to see a lot of these people because they asked me for Vegetation Studio Pro.
Oh, yeah.
When they buy,
For
they
the
come.
original one
So
that
I get to
works.
see,
Yeah.
yeah, and you don't get to like interact with some of these people like I do. So they all reach
Yep.
out to me. Now I don't. Now, of course, Vegetation. I don't know what's going on with VS Pro at this point. It is still not on back on the market.
Yeah, I don't it's gonna be interesting and as long as it continues to work, I think we're fine, but
Yeah,
if
except what do new people do? Because technically we can't give them the
you can't
software.
give yeah, that's right, because it's not yeah, and they can't buy it, so what do new people do? Maybe we need to start investigating alternative planting methods.
Yes, I don't know.
I don't
Um,
know.
then we got
I
the
mean, VS
dunes.
Pro is such a
Uh,
great software
It
too to
is.
have it yeah.
And what's really sad is it hasn't been updated. So it was being updated with like the newer versions of Unity, but it hasn't been because the author of that is in Ukraine. I'm not sure what
Yep,
happened to him. He's been
yep,
MIA. For all
yep.
we know, the guy could be deceased.
I
It'd
hope
be
not.
horrible. I hope not. But yeah, it's a very upsetting, sad situation by all means.
Mm, mm.
So, ugh, gosh, sobering
With
thought.
that, we have Jay
Yes,
Pruitt
Jay
watching
Pruitt, the Dunes Golf and Beach Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Jay
Which
Pruitt.
I listen, I gave a bunch of feedback to him, and I've played this in real life. We did this was one
Oh,
of our
nice.
guys' golf trip courses when we went to Myrtle, and so this one sits a little close to home. It's a good course. It's a fun
Good,
course in real life.
good. Man, I tell you what, Run Pud Run, this Willet is really good.
Oh, will
It
it's
is
so good.
really,
Yeah.
this is probably the favorite bourbon I've had so far, honestly.
Okay.
So,
Good.
honestly. Then we got a Highland National Golf Club by Pac-Man out in Minnesota.
Yep.
These are two late ads, and then Sundance Golf
Yesterday, I
Club
think.
by
Yeah.
by Run Pud Run. So
Yep.
the I can't say the Patreon guys anymore because we've got a couple new guys.
hmm Well, there's
So
technically still Patreon guys. We just
they
don't. I
are,
don't remember who they all are.
but I feel like these are late, like kind of like ads by the Patreon. They aren't.
Yeah.
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 So let's
All
dig
right.
in. Dig
Let's go
in.
in.
The great. You gonna do it? Let's do it.
The Great Bangini.
We'll have to have
Steve needs to
Steve.
come up with. We
Yes.
got Steve to put some magic music in there for him.
Yes. Steve needs to find some. I don't know. What do you think? It should be banjo music? Because I know he's a banjo guy, right?
It could be. It could be.
A magic wand.
Magic Wand. It could be the Wayne and Garth. From Wayne's World.
That's probably copyrighted. We can't do that.
It probably is correct. Yes, exactly.
So if you go here, you can step onto the grounds and you can escape your day-to-day grind and
That's what I
play the
need.
18-hole track for a challenge for golfers of all your abilities.
Although I find when I shoot 42, 58, that's a grind. I'm stepping from one grind to the next.
Yes. Yes, it is.
You would agree. It's a grind, you know?
In
There's
in a bit
the
in a,
frustration level,
a
by the way.
little bit frustrating. A
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Especially when you're done shooting a 42 and you turn the corner and you're like
41. Thank you. 41.
41, sorry. You shoot a 41 and then you go to the back nine, you're like, 10 wasn't that great. It's okay. 11 wasn't that great. It's okay. 12, and then you're looking back, you're like, what the hell am I doing?
How does this happen? That's what I was asking about. How does this
How does
happen?
this happen? I have a new, maybe we'll save it for another episode. Not today, a different episode. I have a new training aid that I've been using
Oh,
with
really?
my instructor and listen, I think I've tried them every training aid ever built has come through my house. Um, and I think this might be my favorite. So
Oh,
maybe we'll
really?
save that for next
I'd
week.
love to
Yeah.
hear that. I have a training aid that it has helped me, but I think I've graduated and moved on because
Okay.
it solved my problem, but
Ooh,
it's
I'm
still
curious
good.
if people are interested. Maybe we should do it like a segment. One of our new segments should be
Yeah,
like our favorite training aids or something, or
I
what we're
like it.
using now. You know?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, I
yeah, I
like it.
like
I
that.
like it. Yes. Um,
Welcome to Target Golf V2.
yeah. So this was the driving range. When I turned this on, now when I first turned this on, I was like, wait, is this what's the farm one that John Mayer did? he has all the targets out there. It's like a kids
I don't
thing.
remember.
I
Yes, I
felt like
know
it,
what you're talking
but
about.
of course I went in here and I wanted to hit like the deer and the targets to see if they did anything, but after like 10 shots and I missed them all. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Because it wasn't moving. If they were moving, you'd
If
be
they
able
were
to
like, I didn't know if you hit them, maybe they do something, make a sound, because you can do that. We have the triggers,
That would be cool. Yeah, with a trigger on it. Yeah.
but maybe you can't do that in the driving range. I don't know. But
I don't know why
anyway,
you couldn't. It's just another. I
all
don't
I
know
have
why
to
you
say
couldn't.
though is I think those are some really big deer. 'Cause that's
Yet you managed to miss them every time.
yes, yet I didn't hit a single one. And maybe he put those out here because I noticed the T markers and stuff had deer, so I think that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons they were out there.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there's
Agreed.
a driving range on this course. Um,
Yep.
so first hole, so honestly, so the colors on here were really well done. And this was whose course was this again? This
Great.
was
The Great Bend
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Genies.
I want to make sure this wasn't. Now, the one thing that I wanted to bring up here was, dude, turn those T signs so people can see them,
Yeah.
right?
It's so funny. And so just so you guys know, I don't know if we've covered this or not in the past. We don't go through these courses together. We each go through the courses separately,
Yeah.
and we have a single PowerPoint deck that we share online, and we go in and put our own slides in, and then we get together and do a pre-show. We kind of look through and be like, oh, and what's happened is we see a lot of the same stuff, and
Yeah.
so we came to this one, and both of us saw that we got to this slide right here, and the exact in the pre-show at the exact same time, both of us
You
said,
put it in
"Well, he needs
separately.
to turn the yeah but he needs to turn them so we can see them."
Yes.
So yeah,
So
it was
so
funny.
turn those. So don't let those go to waste. So turn them so the golfer and on the tee box sees them, not the person driving up in the golf cart,
Yeah,
right?
because there is no one in the
Yeah.
golf cart.
Same thing with that the clock.
Clock.
Turn
Turn
the
the clock.
clock. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of like just turn everything, making sure that the person on the tee box sees it.
But I thought it looked great. I thought if you go back
Oh,
to that first
right
screenshot,
here.
your
Yes.
colors are great, the trees are great, your grasses look great, the color of your cart path looks great. I thought overall it looked really, really well done. So it's been fun to see Bangini's eye
Growth. Yes.
grow over the episodes
You know what
and the
else
more
is
courses he does.
really well done here is that I can't tell when the 3DG ends.
Correct. It's all blended perfectly out
Like
there.
there's some mow lines here, which I don't want to see the mow. It's fine. Honestly, it's a designer thing that I see, so I wouldn't change this.
Yep.
But like I can't tell where it ends.
Yep.
It just
Agreed.
blends so
It just
nicely
blends
into
in
the texture.
seamlessly.
So thumbs up there.
Yep.
As I skip through these slides for the 10th time.
Yep.
So at the
The
end of
cards.
this, there's cars sitting out there like he lined them up to animate them, but they're not animated.
They're not animated. I know. It was
Yeah.
my only
And,
complaint, like on the first hole. I played this one in the sim, by the way. It was
and
my
I
only
did too.
complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only complaint, I mean, take it for what it's worth. It's not much of a complaint, but was when I was coming up number one and I think number two, I could hear car noises, and
Yes.
I
It's
loved
just
it. I was like, "Oh my god, there's a road right there," and I kept waiting to see a car drive by,
yes.
and it didn't drive
And
by.
they're all here queued up like they're supposed to drive by, and I saw
Yeah,
them, but something I don't know if his animation, if he decided he couldn't get the work right and he said screw this, I'm not doing it.
I
um
don't know.
yeah, whatever. But
But that's my only complaint of that piece.
yeah, because scenes like this looked really good. Now the only thing here is I saw the water to me looked a little like too much of like a heather color.
Hmm.
And I don't know. This has never been a color that I've seen before in water.
Yeah.
It looked like the same color as the cart path. Um,
It
yeah,
looked it looked I saw it and thought brown and muddy, which I was okay with.
yeah,
And
it's not. I've seen
yeah,
worse for sure, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah. It wasn't oily, which we
no.
like, that we've seen a lot of, and so I was okay with it. I didn't have too much of an issue with it. I hear you.
Yeah, but it was fine. Not something I certainly change. I don't think. So this is the approach off of 18, which
Yep.
was I think was a good looking hole by all means. Um, no complaints here. I don't know. Did you
Yep.
add the slide or did I put? I can't remember at this point.
I don't know if I added it or not. I just thought it was. I think you added. I think it was just a
Yeah.
really good looking shot coming up 18. You got the clubhouse at the top
Oh,
there.
I know why
It's
I put this in because this is my kind of hole where
yeah.
I can hit it
Hit it
left
anywhere.
and land in a fairway, and I can hit it right and land in a fairway. Which is funny because whenever I had lessons with Shanky, he's like, "So what are your tendencies these days?" I was like, dude, you put a shot like this up there, I couldn't tell if I'm going to landing in the left fairway, the right fairway, or right down the middle. I don't know.
And what did he say?
Huh? Well, like so then we have to have our lesson, and he corrects my
Yeah.
lesson, but I don't have it like with my driver. I just feel like it could go 50 yards left, it could go 50 yards right. It's all over the place.
Yep. Yep.
Um, this like clubhouse facility was really cool. I don't know if this was a custom. I know he's a really talented guy with everything, and he's doing a lot of work. But
I
man,
thought it was great.
it was
Yeah.
good. What I also like, it was like it takes a lot of work, and people don't understand when you build a clubhouse to get the shingles lined up like that.
Yeah.
The UV mapping, it's not easy to
Yeah.
do. Now DPR did a good job of making it easier, but it's still
With
not
yeah.
easy to do. So well done with the clubhouse and the air conditioner units on there. Just good job.
Now, what we didn't capture on that one though, and we should have captured in a screenshot, if you go back to is there is a couple of holes that, and I love the way he did this. There's a couple of holes where there's a school. Did you see the school when you were playing through it?
No.
There's a school, and behind this at the school is a couple of fields. There's a football field and a track field, and he put
Yes.
he put the goalposts
Goalposts.
for the field there, and he put the bleachers in for that. I thought it was really well done because
Yes.
you see those from the course you're coming
Yes.
up. So I thought it was
Thank
pretty
you for
cool.
reminding me about that. Yes. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. The Dunes, Golf
The
and Beach Club
Dune.
by Jay Pruitt. So Jay Pruitt is rapidly becoming one of those guys where I'm looking forward to playing his courses. He's got a great eye. And like God, he's coming out with like one a week. I don't know how he
He's pretty busy right now. Yeah.
yeah. So and really coming up with some good looking courses. Myrtle
Yep.
Beach, South Carolina. Now, is this the Dunes? This sounds like it should be a famous course. Have you? Is this the one you? This is the one you
I've
played.
played this one.
Okay,
I've
this is the
played
one you
this
played.
one.
Okay,
Yep, it is right on the beach when you it is the Dunes Beach and Golf Club. It is right off the ocean there, in South Carolina. And the ninth green and I think the 18th green both come up and end right. You're not on the ocean. They're not really any ocean view holes, right? Except you come up to the green on 9 and you can look to the right and you can see the beach and the ocean over there.
okay.
So, but it was when we played it, it's a cool course because like it's beachy, like there's some sand, the kind of dirt that's right you find right around a beach. So there's kind of a little more sand in places that a normal course would have, and it's not the really lush green because it's got a pretty sandy, windy, salty kind of.
I'm laughing because I'm nodding, but I have no
Uh,
idea what you're talking because I've never played a beach course.
oh, okay. Well, dude,
No,
we got to get a B2B round somewhere that on a course you've never played and get
I
you and some.
honestly, I haven't been to Colorado. I really was contemplating the other day. I'd love to come out and even just visit you and
I
play your course.
Let's come on out and we got a couple of courses to go play out here, and
Yeah,
that we could do them in GSPro and then we can go play them in real life.
yeah, I'd love to do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be much better for me to go out there than you come here and play the crap goat tracks that we have.
We have our fair share, don't worry.
Does have a driving range, which was
Yep.
really well done.
Yep.
And gosh, I don't know how it's possible. Every week he comes out the course, his colors get better.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
This looks
just
so
so
natural.
natural.
We gave him feedback in the beta channel, and he took it and made some tweaks because this is not how it looked originally. And he'll tell you, he'll probably come back, oh yeah, it was much greener than this. And he toned all the colors down and added more sand in various parts of the course.
Yeah,
And it felt when I played through it, I played this in the sim and mouse through, and the final version felt much closer to the real thing than his earlier versions did.
yeah. You know what I think I'm going to do in one of my future course, is whenever I release one, is
Yeah.
I'm gonna put ropes across instead. You know how you go to I don't around here when
Oh,
they have green.
it's ropes on the ground.
Yeah, there's ropes in the ground. You have to hit between the ropes because they keep on
Yep.
moving them around.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to do that.
We have to do that ropes. Yeah, because then you always have the idiot that's too close to the rope, and he
Yes.
catches the rope with his club and it yanks it down the line. And everybody's looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
Jackass, jackass. um, yeah, the great looking driving range though. I really
Yep.
enjoyed that. So what I try to do is I try to capture the driving range you guys put them in if it's really good looking. Um, Good job,
Yep.
like it.
Good job.
And then I tell you what, we talked about like having the first. I'm gonna move our video out here so
Yep.
everybody can
Yep.
get it. This when I loaded this up was like,
So
wow.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Now, is he's not using advanced lighting, which I'm telling you, I love.
Uh,
He's got a different skybox up there that is not. I do not believe that's an advanced lighting skybox.
Might
I
not
think
be.
he's used. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's using a standard lighting with a cloudy sky. You know what I mean?
Now, here's the one thing I did notice. As good as this
Yeah.
looks, I don't know if we didn't talk about this in pre-show. I think 50% of his trees weren't moving in the wind for me.
Interesting. I did not notice that.
Yeah. So I had
Wind collider. I mean,
so
wind
I don't have my
shader
here.
issues or
I don't know like if they're arboreum or he just didn't have wind enabled, but so I have 22 amp. I usually put a course on it, it's breezy
yep,
or
same.
gusty,
I
whatever.
put it gusty just to
These
see.
trees over here weren't moving, and there were a lot of other trees that were not moving with the wind at all.
Interesting. I'm
Yeah,
loading it up now while we're talking just to double check. But
yeah.
yeah, I believe you.
Um, but what I did like were these little T markers,
Love the T markers.
which those could be, this could go back to Sting's like 3 million try turtle. It's a good looking alligator, right? Um, I don't know. The performance on the course was fine, so obviously these weren't too crazy, but I love it. I just like a good unique T marker that makes you
I do
remember the
too.
course.
And he turned them sideways so we can see them
Yes,
on the.
you knew they
Yeah.
were an alligator. I also like the fact that no matter where you're at, you could tell that it was an alligator.
My only complaint that and it's not a GSPro complaint, it's a GSPro complaint is and this tee box, I would have loved it if the left tee box was turned the opposite direction so the mouths faced each other.
Yeah, that would. Well, is that
Because
a
GSPro is placing them the same way, right? It's
yeah?
just you're just
So could we? I guess we could have to negotiate between GS Pro and John and say, is there an option to mirror T markers?
yeah, that'd be awful interesting to mirror them because these would look and they're
A checkbox in Greenkeeper, it says mirror.
mirror tee box because they look fantastic, right? I would just think they
Yeah,
would look even better if the left one was turned facing the right one.
yeah, yeah. I
So
agree.
just a
Feature
thought. I mean,
request.
that's
Feature request.
feature request. Feature request. Yeah,
um, there's so much going on right here.
I know.
Just another good shot between the houses, the vegetation, the vert painting here, the
But
grass.
look at the sandy vert painting into the pine
Yes,
straw. It looks like you're near a beach.
yes, and that's where I kind of was laughing earlier because I've never played this, but this is what I would envision, right? The
And
saltiness.
I will tell you right now, I will confirm I'm in the latest version and none of the none of the palm trees are moving on the
Okay,
windiest settings. The other trees are, but they're not moving
okay,
as much. So I don't know what shader he's using, but yes.
okay.
That
All right,
yep.
all right. So that distracts me for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Fair.
Um, Oh, so this one, and they move this to the side here. I just
Oh,
love
he's got
how it.
other trees. He has other trees that are not moving too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. He
Okay,
has other trees that are not moving too. Yep.
okay. So he's got a few trees that are. I just
Yep.
liked how he put like the long grass here on the one side of the bunker. You might
I do
not be
too.
able to see it well, but it was just very realistic
And
looking.
I think you're capturing this in the next screenshot. My only, again, thought I would look at, I felt the floor of the grass was a
Was
little
dark.
too dark.
Um,
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
no, I don't think I captured that, but yeah, I totally agree there. That like or he's either has to darken the grass or lighten the floor.
Lighten the
I think
floor.
he should do both, lighten
Yep.
and darken, have them meet in the middle. Um,
Yep.
Now this goes back to, I don't know if you noticed this, but the sticks that he placed in his pine straw had wind enabled and they were wiggling like snakes again.
So he's got wind on the sticks, but not on the trees.
Yes, yes. And this was a very harsh blend right here.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a hard line here. So I'm not sure if the blend was just not updated correctly in the V4 tools.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yep. And then this was just another blend that I found on. I think this was just one tee box, and I'm sorry, Bangini. I should have put in the screenshot here which tee box this was, but
This
it
is
was.
Pruitt's course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Pruitt's course.
Pruitt.
Yes. That this hard line. This is on. It wasn't all tee
Is the
boxes.
blend is the blend missing?
That's where I don't know. No, I think. Oh, you might be right. The blend
It
might
it
just be
almost looks like the
gone.
blend isn't even there. It looks
Because
like
there's
the
3DG all the way up. That
all the way
he would have
there.
had to gone
Yeah.
in and planted 3DG on the blend for this to happen.
Yeah. So either he planted on the blend or
Yeah,
it doesn't have a blend. I don't know.
yeah. Good spot there. Thank you.
Yep.
And this is what we were talking about earlier, which was the under texture was darker than the grass.
Yep.
So I think
Yep.
darken the grass a tad, lighten up the texture underneath, meet in the middle, because I think
Yep.
you're so darn close here.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
close. It's so
it's good.
good. I mean, we're nitpicking on some small stuff.
Yep. Damn, this freaking normal issue for the far normal.
I tell you what, maybe what we need to do, because I'm not you, I saw it as well, but I'm not an expert at it. Is maybe we should again in the next episode, maybe we should go open up Unity and go in and show where to adjust the normals on this
Yeah,
and
because I've
give
I've played
folks
with
a
this in a couple of the courses I've been working on, and
yeah.
so yes, I think we should in the next
I think we
show
should do a section like a little Unity
where
tip
that
kind of
knob
thing.
is and
Yep.
show people like making it too much, too little, and see what
Yep.
happens. Yep,
I think that'd be good.
good idea. So, also, so we brought this up in pre-show, and Mash, you had a good point here. I flew underneath, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's a terrain underneath here. In V4, you shouldn't need to have your terrain enabled. Just disable draw on your terrain because that's just taken away from your performance. But Masha,
Except
you had a good point here.
that's his outer terrain.
We don't know.
I'm going to assume that's his outer terrain, and his inner terrain is completely turned off, right? I'm just going to make that assumption for this conversation because your question to me was, well, why do you even have your outer terrain on? Why aren't you just meshing your outer?
Yeah.
And it has never even occurred to me to mesh my outer. I only mesh my inner.
So we had this dialogue back and forth, which is performance-wise, is it better to mesh your outer
I don't know.
or to put a SAT image on your outer and leave it in place? So I don't know.
It'd be interesting,
I'll have to
but it
experiment with
never even
that.
occurred to me to send my outer through the tools to mesh it and then just put it in. I've always just left the terrain on and meshed my inner. I'm curious, leave it in the comments or ping us on Discord. I'm curious what you guys do, but it would be interesting to see
But
what other people are doing with their
that's
outer.
done in Blender. So there's an option in Blender when you go through the OPC
Yeah,
tools that you
mesh your
can
outer.
to
Yeah,
mesh your outer. So
yeah.
I'd be curious, yeah, whether it's performance wise better to mesh it and disable your terrain or what. So I'll have to experiment with that and let people know. Do that on the next show too. We've got lots of experiments to do.
Lots of experimenting to do. I think it's fun. I think it'd be fun to do. We'll have an experimentation show.
Yeah, there we go. And then we got KSU Cat. So another
Yeah.
person. So KSU Cat is turning blue after this. So did you know, Mashie, that this is the #3 ranked course that opened up in the United States in 1995?
I I am smarter now because of that. I did not know that. Thank you, Tom Fazio. Tom Fazio design.
It's just one of those things. I'm sure I can prove that my home course which is a goat crap. It's what it
Go
is.
crap. Your
Yeah,
course is a go crap
it
course.
is pretty much. There's some stat I can find on my course that makes it #1 in the U.S. for something. It's the #1 U.S. course with 3,885 square meters of water.
Exactly. You can always find a way to make your course number 1 in one way or another.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But you know what I did notice though? I felt like this week, maybe not this week. I'm thinking out loud here. I feel like the course lengths were a little shorter this week in this batch of courses than in some of the previous. Like
Well, I
there,
think
this
last
is
week
no
was really
7,800
long.
yard. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
so maybe last week was just really long. But
Like
like
68's
Whistling
not short by any means,
68 is
right?
not short. Don't get me wrong, not short at all. But like, it's not 78. It's not 72. It's not Whistling Straits was long. That was 3 weeks ago. We had
Yeah.
3 courses last week that were over 7,000 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah.
No,
And
you're
then
right.
I think Bangini's course, because I played that in the sim as well. I think that course, the longest was 6,200 on
Yeah, I
that
think
one.
you're right because there was one course this week where I looked at it as like, oh, this is like my home course. It's short, you know.
Oh, it was great because there was a couple drivable par fours. It was so
Yeah.
much fun.
Those are
They
fun.
try to they try to make it where it's dog legs, so you can't drive it, but you just go over the trees. It was in the sim.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry. No,
Jesus Christ.
not
I
short.
might kick this bottle that Ron sent me. I'm all over this stuff. I might have to go get another ice ball, by
Go.
the way.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Um, First course, and our standard first course comment is
Is
turn it down.
oversaturated. Too much
Turn down the
green.
green.
Yes, just drill it down. Now this is
We need,
V3. Now
we
I
need,
do feel that V3 oversaturates by default.
of course it does.
Yeah.
But like we've known that V3 has been out for 3 years, so of course it oversaturates by default. We know that. Can
Oversaturates, yes.
Steve come up with a Vegas style? It's too green, like blinking light thing that pops in here, like turn down the green. And KSU, we're giving you a hard time. The course is really, really good. It is just a little bit green. You could see it. Go look at this compared to any of the other courses we looked at this week, and you'll see the difference in your own eye. You'll be like, oh, yeah, it is a little green.
Yeah. Um, that is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
There's a,
Fun
so
course,
this
though.
was it was a fun course.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of like just a little bit of terrain. Tee
Yep.
boxes like move from one tee to the other makes the hole completely different.
Yep. Yep.
In this case, a perfect example is if you're on the back tees, you got to be able to shape your shot, right?
Yep.
But if you move up here to the left on
You got a
the
straight
forward
shot
tees, you
right
got a
down the
straight
fairway.
shot. So fun course. So I can
Yeah.
see when someone's passionate about their home course, why. So this is a good example of that. So
Agreed.
thank you for building this course and thank you for submitting it to GSPro. Um, Suggestion here would be like one of the things we always recommend to builders in general is make sure try to have you don't have to have your grasses match exactly to your texture underneath, but you should have one or two grasses that match. In this, you got a lot of contrast here between your grasses you have planted here and this dark green underneath. I would try to find looks like you have two different types of grasses here.
Yeah. Was it two? Maybe
Either
three. I
yeah,
see three.
you see three? Um,
I see three.
it
I
could
see
be
one with red bushes.
healthy
One. Yeah.
dry. Yeah, I see the one with like the flowers, and I see another
Yep.
one without flowers. So I think I don't know. Who knows? I would try to find a third or alter one of them so it matches this a little bit closer. I guess
I
I would say.
I'm gonna go a different direction with you. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. Okay. My only thought though is very rarely in real life, and it's funny how once you start building courses, you start looking at this stuff in real life, right? My guys are like, "What are you doing in the rough?" Or in the deep rough. I'm like, "I'm taking pictures of what the ground underneath the
Yes.
grass
Yeah.
looks like. I'm pulling the grass back to look." Very
I,
rarely
I'm
on
getting
this
another
color.
glass, so keep talking.
Go get it. Yep, go get it. Very rarely in my experience, and I could be wrong, but very rarely in my experience with grasses this color is the ground that green.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I would actually change the ground to be more of a brownish or even more of a tannish because it's probably dead grass that's been sitting on top of it. This
Yeah.
dead grass has died and sitting down. So I would actually change. I like the color of your grasses. I would change the floor to be not green, and that will give you the blending that you need to make that grass look better. Does that
So
make sense?
I'm going to change what I said earlier and agree with you because I think, yeah, you could totally take these grasses, these like light fescue colored grasses here, and just change the floor color. The only problem, since this is a V3 course, what's he going to have though?
I
Oh,
would change the texture.
Yeah, but he's going to
And
have a
yeah, but that's
very
okay.
hard line here.
100%. You're gonna have a hard line there, and
But
that's
if he pushes the grasses out past the hard line,
exactly. Or come in and manually plant some grasses on top of
yes,
that hard line. You'll
yep,
hide the hard line under the grass. But I would actually come in and change the texture to a dead grassy texture that's kind of light brownish,
yep,
and then put these grasses down and then hide that edge with the grass on top, and you'll end up with a more natural looking rough.
you got it. Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
And that's what I would do.
Um, I think it's just another screenshot of basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You can just see it. There's a lot of contrast there.
Yep.
And also your healthy color, if you change that to be darker green, it would help you match a little bit more. But I agree with Mashie. Would be to change the texture. Billboards. So don't forget to check your billboard. The last thing you do before you hit that build button and you think you're done is go zoom up away and look down at those billboards, because you got a lot of different colors going
Yep.
on here with your billboards.
Yep.
Um, this
Yep.
yeah, obviously this dark, I can call it green. There's almost like a grayish green. It's just really just not matching here.
Well, it's interesting, and I'm thinking out loud here because again, this one I did not play on the sim, but I played on the computer. If you look in the back right corner, you see how his terrain has got these kind of cliffs and mountains and stuff. I don't remember mountains, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't notice those from when I played through it. I wonder if almost the trees are too thick, just because I would like to have seen more
Yeah.
of those
Now,
in the
yes,
distance.
and I didn't notice those in the distance. I think they're obscure even on the flyovers. I
Yeah,
did notice the popping of and normally I wouldn't. I don't just go up and look at billboards if you're billboard friendly.
but you see it from the flyover that
But if
makes
I
you go,
fly over and I see billboards like changing and stacking up
yeah,
as you go, then I'm like, oh, something's off here.
yep, yep.
That's what drove me to this.
Yep, just some suggestions. I listen. I don't know if this is a custom clubhouse or not. If it is, well, nicely done. I don't know if you did it or had someone do it. And funny in pre-show, we were talking about. I'm gonna stop looking for custom clubhouses because there's so many clubhouses out
That
there
people can
that
use.
it's too hard to think about what's. I mean, you can
Uh,
tell hey, I've done a bunch of custom work where you've got a Justin or you've got Ryder or those guys doing work for you on a signature course but it's great. I look at it more as is it a clubhouse that matches and it fits in with the general theme of what you're doing. I thought this one did really well. I particularly like the human height guy sitting in there. He has a nice level of
you know something? That guy's got a nice ass.
he's got a nice I agree. I like it's firm and curves just the right
I
way.
just want to go up there and just
Spank
probably.
it.
I think he works out. I'm just saying.
I think he works at lots of squats.
I,
Lots of
I
squats.
mean, he's asking for it. Those arms out. He's just looking for a spank, right?
He is. He's just got his arms out there and you going, yeah. So I thought the clubhouse looked great. I might have lowered it a little bit. I think the foundation is a little bit
Yeah.
high, and I know it's a pain because you have to level it
Do you
perfectly.
think
But
any
I would.
non-designers actually watch this show?
I don't know.
Because they
I mean,
probably
we
have no
used to,
idea what a human height guy is.
dude. We used to advertise on Facebook every time we have a new show
We
out,
kind of
and
stopped.
we've stopped doing that. Which we need to start doing that again.
Yeah.
I think we had a fair amount of people, or some people on Facebook, that would kind of at least tune in
Yeah.
for 32
So
seconds.
human height guy is just something that we have in our tools that we can throw in for scale. If you're looking to see like how big something, it's really hard to tell how big things are in when the tools we use. So you
Yep.
throw something in there that is size of a person to get an idea. And
Yep.
sometimes people put them in and they forget to take it
And
out.
we're gonna take them out.
It's almost an ongoing joke in the designer community.
I
So,
I cannot tell you how many times I've been playing
oh
through my course. I'm like, oh my god, I left the damn human height guy in there.
yeah, yep.
Yep.
Orchard Hills by Strong. So Strong is another guy who graduated to Blue this week.
Congratulations, Strong.
Congratulations. Yeah. Oh, so this was the course. I was looking at this and I said, 6,000 yards. This is like my home course. The tips are
Yeah.
6,000 yards. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was excited to jump this in. And I have to tell you, when I started playing this, I was not disappointed. Now, first of all, this is the driving range.
Driving range. Yeah.
And there's nothing special about this, but this was my first impression of the course, which was, wow, these colors look very natural. And for a
Yep.
first course builder, they're not overly
V3 course,
saturated.
by the way. It's a V3 course.
A V3 course, exactly.
Yep. Yep.
So I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
I moused through this one this morning. You can go to the next screenshot. It's cool. I moused through this course and I don't know, I got about halfway through. I think I got hole 8 and I was like, I'm going downstairs to play this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I went downstairs and I played this morning or this afternoon before we recorded in the sim, and it was a ton of fun. The 6,000 yards it's sure. I normally play 66. I'm no great golfer, but I normally play 65, 6,600. So it felt short, but it was, I mean, I still hit my driver on almost every hole. Like,
Yeah.
it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah. Very well done first course.
Very well done first course.
I,
Custom signs.
yeah, I hope he sticks around and does some more. I can see a lot of potential here.
I
Um,
want to see V4 tools in his hands, because if he makes the V3 course look this good,
yep.
I think he's got a great eye out of the gate for blends and things like that.
Yep. Um, Also, I'm just very impressed that the trees he put in here, I know some of these trees, and I think by default they're a little saturated, so he toned
Yep,
them down.
he did.
The bark is
I
toned
know
down
that
a little
tree.
bit. Yep.
I know that tree on the left by the water over there, right? That
Yes.
tree by the left on the water is
Is
not
typically pretty green.
pretty.
Yep. Now, I panned to the right on the first tee because I
Yep.
like, first of all, I was looking at the tee markers. So first course he did custom these tee signs, pretty cool.
Turned them the right way.
And then I had a lot of respect for looking out in the woods, and it looked like real woods, because
Yep.
I know on Glacier Golf Club I spent a lot of time, I don't know why, but like making sure the woods looked real, and
Yep.
it looked really good. So
Yep.
very
Looked great.
impressed. Yep. The two critiques I do have. One is, I think your water rippling was just a little aggressive. Um, just tone it down. So it's just, I thought there was just a lot going on. Um, and I thought it was just a tad too blue. It's almost bluer than the sky in this.
I agree with you on the color. I agree with you on the rippling, except this is going to lead me to a feature request.
Oh,
So we need Steve to queue up the GSPro feature request,
all right.
which is, I don't, and again, it's not going to happen anytime soon, because it kind of goes in with that category of like real time weather conditions that I would love to see as well. I wish that they could tie the ripples on the lake
To the wind.
to the wind, like trees are. Can we get a
Yes.
can we somehow tweak the arborum or whatever the nature, whatever the
Wow.
wind shader on the trees? Can we tweak it for the water plane so the ripples will change based on the wind speed we choose?
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then if we get really creative about it, you put 2 different materials in there, and like, if it's really, really windy, you might be getting some white caps.
We're getting greedy. We're getting
I,
greedy.
I, I'll take, I'll just,
I like it, but
I'll
we're
take
greedy.
wind. I'll take wind tied to the thing to start, but I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that would be really cool.
And then
Was
this
this
goes back.
18?
This was coming up 18, I think it was. And
Yeah.
this goes back to my earlier comment. That is not a custom clubhouse. I've used that clubhouse in the past. He did change the textures and the colors and a few things on it. But I also think that the clubhouse fits in beautifully with this course, and it looks like it's always been there.
Yeah. It was, his sat shader was pretty damn good here. Like, he did the
Yeah.
cart pass really well.
Yep.
Things blended really well. I think this does
Yep.
show how the water's still a little too blue.
A little too blue.
Man, I can't wait to get V4 in his hands, because there's a lot of stuff going on with mow lines, which is really
Yep.
hard to do in V3 with sat shader, and he's going to be able to control that much differently with vert painting in V4.
Yep.
So man,
I have
strong design studio. Man, I hope you do some other courses in V4.
I agree. I have two complaints. And I should have taken a screenshot of this, or 2 critiques, I should say, not complaints, critiques, that I should have taken a screenshot, and I didn't do it and put it in here before we're done with looking at your course. The first one is, I actually did find your fairway and green colors a little too close. There were a handful of, and I think this goes back to our conversation about color calibration, because when I played it through on the PC, it was clear. On my sim, I found there were a couple of times that I thought I was on the green, but I was apparently on the fairway, just off the green, and didn't realize. I just didn't look in the
Yeah,
mini map to see what the collider was, right?
yeah.
So there was a couple of times that the fairway and the green looked very much the same color on the sim. And then my second critique would be those greens are hard as hell. And there were a bunch of times that I would chip it up right to the edge of the gimme circle, and it would roll all the way back down off and into the fairway. And
Ooh,
that's a long roll. Like I didn't have anything roll out of the gimme circle. So once I got it to the gimme circle, that seemed to be okay. So I don't know whether that's a critique or I enjoyed it on one hand. It had a little level of frustration when I played it on the other hand, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. But just be aware more than anything for those who are looking to play this one. Be land on the short side of the stick because if you land short of the stick on the long side of the
things
green,
roll
it will
off.
roll all the way back down. Yep.
In some cases, it's like that. It's like, what's it like in real life? Maybe it is like that in real life. I don't know.
Well, listen, I will tell you, in my experience on shorter courses, their defense are really, really hard greens.
I tell you what, some
Um,
of the hardest greens I ever played, and that, granted, I haven't played a lot of courses, was a par three course.
Yeah, there are a lot of times both. What I find is private courses that are not overly difficult, and then shorter courses. Their main defense is making putting very hard.
Yeah,
So you could take a 6,000 yard course and still shoot, an 85, 86, 90, whatever, because you're three putting or four putting, or you hit a shot on the green and it rolls all the way off and you're
yeah,
chipping again. So
yeah.
it may be that way in real life.
Yep.
Good job though. Really, really well done.
So then we get into, we talked about it, the Patreon guys, Pac-Man,
Pac-Man, run but
Pac-Man.
run.
And I love it when Pac-Man, he sent us, hey, this course was released Friday. It hasn't been posted yet. He wanted to give us a heads up. Thank you again.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it when he
Yep.
does that because I'm like, oh, we got to play this. I got to jump this in because I love looking at me a good Pac-Man course.
I do too. And I love this one. Go back real quick. Go back one slide real
We'll go back.
quick. I love this is an upscale Muni course. There's no such thing as an upscale Muni course. I'm kidding. There are some actually really good Muni courses, but I love the way they say it. And a renovated upscale Muni course. I thought that was really funny the way they wrote that.
Well, there's the course near me, Marion, and down towards Philly. That's or like what's also the Bethpage is a municipal course.
Yeah. Well, listen, my daughter's state golf championship this year was at the Aspen Golf Club in Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah,
That's a municipal course, and it's the nicest course I've ever played on.
yeah.
There was not a bad hole, bad scene, nothing. It was great.
Actually, the course I played at today is under new management, and I've played there the past 3 years.
Yeah.
They've stepped it up today. It was beautiful. So,
Nice.
yeah. And they're
Nice.
raising their
Good to see.
prices too. So it's good to
No.
see stuff like that.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. Another, but 66, not super long, not
Yeah.
short, but 66. Yeah.
Yep.
Good length.
So, man, you throw this up now. First of all, well, I'll get to that. I
Yep.
changed my train of thought, but it's a Pac-Man course, right? Now, my critique here though is I can see where the 3DG ends. Remember
Yeah.
we talked earlier about
Yep.
knowing I can see it ends right here.
Right there. Yep.
Now it doesn't look like he's using one 3D texture here, I think. So maybe two would have helped out with this. Um, but I think his 3DG here is maybe a little dark.
Yeah, I think versus the floor color over, yeah, it could be
Yeah.
it looks a little bit dark in spots. I hear that. Now I also wonder how much of that is slope shader on being used now on 3DG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like now that is an up. It has to be a little darker so you can see that is an uphill. You can see the downhill and the uphill right where you're pointing, right? So not, yeah. So I don't know. I hear you. I also it was easier to critique 3DG in V3
Yes.
than it is in
Yes,
V4.
it was. Yes, it was. Um, I just, this is creative. I love it.
Is that a
It's,
lighthouse?
yes, I think, well, whatever it is, I get it though. I know
Yeah,
what it is. I see it. It
yeah,
makes sense. It's simple.
yeah, yeah,
It's elegant.
yeah.
It's good.
It looks great.
It's good.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
So I put this in because I had to back away because there's a lot going on in this course that you have to appreciate looking back afar and then you play through it. And
Yeah.
this is a perfect example of you and I seeing the same thing, which is there's some water towers out here. There's this lighthouse prison guard thing
It's a
going
prison
on.
t it's the prison
I,
tower, it's where they stand up there, it's a
yeah.
you know what, that is what the T markers are. It's that building.
Is it that building?
I think so, I think it's that building is
It
represented
could
on the T
be. It could
markers.
be. Could be right. There's also this other building back here.
Yep, the
And
school.
I also wanted like this is Sat Shader, which is
Yeah,
really good.
really good.
It looks like a map of the course. Like, you could
Like,
put this in a
Pac-Man, do you
brochure.
clone is he clone stamping that?
I don't know what he does.
I'm
It's
curious what
it's
he does to make
magical.
it look that good.
It's
I wish
magical.
because I start doing clone stamping on my Sat shader and it doesn't come out like this and it ends up looking like you know what. And so I end up just going back to
Yeah.
the default textures that are coming in the new V4 tools.
I also just like the water placement on this course. Just like
Yeah,
just enough water, I think, to make things interesting, not over. I just it's a flat course, but it was still a fun
right,
course.
right. There these you we had the same reaction is one, they're beautiful. I know they're water towers. They're beautiful. Like they're really well done. They look great. And two, you have to have them. The water towers you
Yeah.
see from so many different spots on the course that I think leaving them out would have been a big mistake.
Now, me being a Blender guy, it's very difficult. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think Pac-Man. Had to be someone else that did these for him. It's very difficult to make rounded
Round,
objects
yeah, yeah,
that don't have a ton of tries in it and doesn't explode your try count and make them look good. These look so smooth.
yeah. And the
It's
round columns of the
yes.
around the edges look great and
Yeah. So
yeah,
Pac-Man, whoever did these for him, you need to give them an extra high five for sure.
agreed. Agreed. I'd love to know who did them.
Yes. And then this, now I'm not sure if this was custom or not. Now I kind of flew up and I looked down at this and I was like, why did he put so much detail into this? Because it's kind of off course.
Right, 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 right,
And he's got the shingles on here and like the chimneys and the clock. And I was like, it seems like a lot of detail for something that's not really, it's not a clubhouse. It's not
right.
really on course. And then I shot through and I realized
Yep,
what he was doing, which was you start seeing all these landmarks as you're playing the course. And for someone that knows this course, and I bet this was a commission, and Pac-Man, you should send someone the video that we're talking about right now,
yep,
is that you're aiming at this stuff. When
yeah.
you go to this with this tee box, oh, I
I'm
know
going at the tower.
I'm going at
Your
the
line
tower.
is the tower, and yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yep,
So this is a perfect example of why those things are so important for this course. And this is another hole where we've got the tower here. I'm aiming for this column here, or I'm aiming
yep. Or the
this.
clock of the
Now you see
school.
the school, right?
Yep.
Which was before it was like kind of off, but it's behind the trees. But man, it does matter, and this is what makes I think which makes GS Pro courses so incredible is that we can do things like this. So
I think it's such a great also like layout because I mean the kids go to school, they misbehave, they then go to prison. There's plenty of water to give at least keep them nourished, rehydrated.
and also just like the houses over here. He had like
Yeah.
houses placed.
Yep.
And Pac-Man, good stuff.
It's
Really good
really well
stuff.
done. The chorus was really well done. It was fun to play too. And like you said, I agree with the water placement. For a relatively flat course, that
Yeah.
really could have been a meh kind of course from a not design standpoint, but just from a golf standpoint. The
Hmm.
water made it interesting because you had to think through a bunch of shots, but it wasn't none of the water felt like it was placed stupidly. Like,
Yeah.
why I've got to carry 190 over a water hazard to have a shot.
Yeah.
It was yeah, it was well done.
Yep. Yeah. Great stuff. And then
And run, put,
run
run.
put run. So another
There's another
like
shorty,
yeah, another
6,400.
yeah. So I'm playing the whites here, that's for sure. It's
Yeah.
it's my 6,000 is my gold standard.
Okay. Okay.
Um
Good. Good.
so
First tee.
first tee, man, so like again, here we got like you can kind of see where the 3DG ends. I would have liked to see that dark, like lightened a little bit, but overall, again,
Course looks great.
yes, the course did look really great.
He's got vert painting with the divots, like a lot of folks are doing now, and his colors look great, his trees
Yeah.
look great, his grasses look great,
Yeah.
cart path look great.
Now what I
No,
did is like when I come in here and I'm like, oh, let's get a shot of the custom tees, right? So I started backing up. I would get a screenshot, and I was like, dude, someone's dog is back here. So I bet whoever commissioned this course said,
either
my dog hangs out here. You got to put the dog in here.
I
So
love it. I
Ron, I
love it.
saw it. It's got its bowl in here. Now I don't care that 3DG is sticking up through the
Who
bowl.
cares?
I like the German Shepherd sitting here. So um,
Although I will say, listen, it's been a lot. I've spent a lot of time this past week. You probably saw me posting in Discord playing around with the vert painting of 3DG, or adding in multiple different blades by adding in multiple vert colors,
yes,
right?
yep,
And removing blades. So what I did as an experiment was I took a bunker, I added 3DG to the blend around the bunker and the entire bunker. And then I went in and I vert painted black, which is the removal of it, around the middle of the bunker and the edge. I was trying to give this really like the grass grows into the bunker look versus
yeah,
the really tight that we have.
yeah,
And it was pretty successful doing it. So like I'm just using this example. You could easily have literally baked that to mesh, put it black right around that, painted to mesh, and there's no 3G thrown up through the bowl. Now I didn't
yeah.
expect Run to do it, but
No, don't like
I'm just saying.
don't do that. That's
No, 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 no,
ridiculous.
no.
You
I'm
don't
just
need.
saying, but that's how you do it. I didn't know that. I learned this week how to do that,
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
yeah. So I like that touch. That's
Yeah,
and I think I hope who commissioned the course just said, hey, my dog hangs out. Can you put a dog in
and
there?
my dog's a German Shepherd, so make it match.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then what I was going
yeah,
after were the T markers. So
yep,
well done. This is obviously
yep.
a premium course, and the guy got what he was. They got what they
Well,
got what they paid for here.
I think if you go back, and it's a brilliant thing that Run did. If you go back to that T marker, I think Run took the GSPro one and just changed color, changed out the color and changed out the logo on it.
You're right. He did.
That one used to have a GSPro, I think, which is a great way of giving a custom T marker without having to go in and create new Blender stuff.
Yep. Absolutely right. I didn't spot that. Yes.
Yep.
Water.
Water, water. Didn't we say last week that if you want a master class on water, talk to Run Putt Run?
Yeah. Yeah. Because this
Looks
is
great.
like I don't know what the course looks like, but this looks pretty realistic and natural to me.
Yep. And
Um,
his reflection probe is like spot on.
yeah.
I love the trunks showing up in the water like that. Like it's great.
Hopefully new designers are listening to the course, but the trick here is what he did is he made the texture, it's only probably, I don't know, a foot underneath the water. So it really kind of shows up through, but he's
We
got the
should have Run
reflection
do
on
a
there.
video. He should
Yeah.
have a segment where Run comes on and teaches
These
everybody how to
guys,
do water.
Pack knows, Run knows,
Yep.
Tech Bud knows.
Heck knows.
These
Yeah.
guys know how to like tweak that water to make it look really good. Yeah.
Yep. It looks so good. What the hell is this? Like 1962 called and wants his golf cart
Dude,
back.
I'm telling we talked about this in pre-show. I think that's what golf carts were back in like the 60s. I think they were like three-wheelers. I think that's what
Probably.
they
Well, guess
were.
what? 62 called and wants it back.
Dude,
Like,
maybe they still have them there. I don't know.
maybe. I don't know. I'd love. I listen. I have
Ron,
no
let us know
complaint on this.
what's up with these. Did someone specifically ask for these old school carts?
And who made it for you? Like, did someone make this for you
I think
specifically in Blender? Is that
I part of me thinks I've seen these someplace, but
okay?
I don't know. I
Like,
thought it was cool.
do you put your
Very
club,
retro.
your bag in the little hole in the back of the cart there?
You can
I
only fit
mean,
one bag back there, right?
but there's two
I don't know.
seats.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I
you're.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm confused. Oh,
We both
if
saw
anybody
this.
want if anybody wants to learn how to do fields, just give Run a call. That is
Yeah,
so good. Like
yeah,
I love the way you did that. I love the fence with separating the two, and I love
yeah.
the organization of the fields. Looks
This was
perfect.
another one I was capturing the same thing, and then I went to put it in here, and I saw you already did it, so that
Yeah,
was pretty cool. Yep.
yeah, really
Well
good.
done. Well done. Clubhouse. Now this was an odd one. Very
Yeah,
dark,
yeah,
modern. Not what
Yeah.
I would expect to go with the no,
62
the
1962 golf carts.
which are sitting right here, and the dog. There's the dog.
There's a dog right there. It could be a mid-century modern clubhouse. I mean, we could go
Yeah.
that
Hey,
way. I don't know.
um, yeah, I don't know. It's probably very
It
accurate.
works. Yeah, I'm probably very accurate. It works. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. So we talked about this in pre-show, which so this is a pond like area
Yeah.
where he
Yep.
he made and noted that he was trying to do is this like lighter because when grass has too much water, it tends to get that like light colored to it. But they got like this which this a very unnatural line. So like I was saying to Mashie, I was like, well, what if you took like a tri blend and made one of the blends though dark so it
Being
wasn't so
darker.
drastic. And then you were talking about, oh, what's the best way to do this? Could he lighten the texture underneath here, change this blend a little bit, but then that's throughout the whole course.
Well, what he could do, I mean, goes back to the conversation we just had. He could go to a tri blend or even a dual blend. I think it is a dual blend there, but he go to a tri blend,
Yeah,
and then he could paint in along that edge the third color with a little bit different color on that, and it
yeah,
wouldn't look so. You know what I mean? I think it's probably the easiest way to do it is paint it and bake to mesh
yeah.
that third
Now this
blend, that
was
third
only one spot in the
blade.
course that I saw this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in run, you did a really good
It's
job on the
nitpick. Yeah.
course, and I'm just this is more of a conversation piece on what we can do here just to improve
Or
everybody
teaching,
here.
yeah, yeah. So I think that's probably the easiest way. If you didn't want this, if you wanted to have more of a blend between the green on the left and the lighter green on the right, I think you could with 3DG involved. I think you could vert paint in a third blade and have that blade color somewhere between the two.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get really picky, you could even do like another texture in there too to like
Yeah,
blend it over. But
yeah.
lots of
But it
things you
was
could try.
cool. Like if you look off to the right,
I
there was a couple
appreciate
of
that the fact that even did this.
yes. Well, that's what I was gonna say. If you look off to the right, you can see how that water in the 3DG kind of runs down into the water. There's a
Yeah,
couple of holes
that looks pretty
where
cool. I like
yeah, it gets
this
pretty
look
close to
right
the
here.
green.
I know
Yes,
what he's trying
exactly.
to achieve here.
Yep,
Um, I just this is where I think we could improve on.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. But his look over there is great.
Yep. Now,
Oh no,
this
oh
is a
no, I'm gonna
surprise for
fail.
you.
I'm gonna fail immediately just with the title of it.
Ah. So in his as I was mousing through Run's course, I found a tree.
Yes.
I found a tree in here, and I have to bring up your video because we need to see your reaction.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I found a tree. Okay, and I hadn't seen this tree before, and it really kind of like wow.
Is this like a tree Rorschach test?
Yes,
Rorschach
exactly,
test? Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So what do you see when you see that tree?
I see an owl.
Oh, you see an owl?
Yeah. First thing I see an owl.
Okay.
The second thing I see, I'm not going to say out loud.
Well, let me. Now to what do you see?
What tree is that?
I don't know. I've never seen this before. Have you seen this tree before?
I've never seen that tree before, but it may be my new best friend.
Is it the JJ tree?
It might be. It might be the BJ tree.
What is... Okay.
Good thing those flowers are a little longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you plant a bush right here.
Plant a bush right there, and then interesting.
Okay. All right.
Congrats, nature manufacturer, for creating the first tree.
Okay, let's just go on.
Okay. Move on. Next thing.
Okay, so feature request of the week. I kind of alluded to this earlier. So we played a game when we played golf today called Garbage. Have you ever played Garbage before?
I have never heard of it, let alone play it.
All right, so it's a fun game because if you're playing with a group of people who have very different handicaps, like some people who are really good and some people who are really bad, like me, because like today I was playing against the guy who's like a 5 handicap. Okay.
Okay.
And then another guy who was like a 15, and then I'm like a 19. So
Okay.
it's garbage is good. So how garbage works, it's a scoring, and every hole you have 3 points that you can earn.
Okay.
The person who gets on the green from the farthest away gets a point.
Okay.
Okay. The person who gets closest to the pin from off the green also gets a point, and
Okay.
the person who has the longest putt gets a point.
God, I feel bad for the person who's got to keep score.
It's actually not that bad. You just kind of, yeah. But I guess my point is, it'd be really cool if GSPro did like, hey, at the beginning of the round, do you want to play garbage? Yeah.
Well, listen, I'll take your I will take your feature, and I'm going to augment it just a touch because I agree with you. I think it'd be great. Okay. I would love to see modes of like this. Like we talked about this we played with Yumi and Pac-Man. Wolf.
Yes.
Love to be able to play Wolf in
Wolf
GS
would be really
Pro.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes only 3 of us playing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I think that'd be great. And you can play Wolf with more than 3, but you need at least
Yeah.
3. So I think Garbage would be fun to have in there as a game mode to play. Wolf would be fun to. So I think having some game modes would be a great idea, and I think people will play them.
What's good about garbage is you can play it in addition to like the regular scoring. You can say,
Yeah,
hey,
you're
we're gonna
still
have to
playing your
get gar,
normal round.
and
Yeah,
like things like closest to the pin is really interesting because if you hit your approach shot and it's a foot off the green, you're still
yeah.
eligible for closest to the pin.
So Garbage reminds me of we used to do this thing. We do this thing. Sorry, we call them. They're called prop bets. Have you ever heard of prop
Yes.
bets?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and so we write down like 25 different prop bets. We put them into a hat, and then before we tee off, we pull out 3. And one of them may be who hits the most trees,
Yeah.
or one of them may be putts from off the green, longest putt from off the green, whoever wins that one. And there's money to go in the prop bet. So it's similar to
Yeah.
Garbage, but yeah. So I think
So
I think those things.
we play another with the guys that I'm with. We play another thing called chips, which is similar to that.
Okay.
There's chips, and there's like 15 different chips. One of them is called, for example, tree. If you hit a
Okay.
tree, you get the tree chip.
Okay.
If you hit a bunker, you get the bunker chip. There's like 15 of those, and what happens is at the end of the hole, if you were in a sand or if you hit the tree, or you get that chip. But the next hole, if you're in the bunker, then you take that chip away from somebody. And then at the end of, you can either play it every 6 holes, every 9 holes, or for the whole round.
At the end, whoever's got the most chips.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of fun too. Yeah. So I think those kind of game modes would be a lot of fun to have in GS Pro.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Cool.
Yep. Cool.
And then everyone's favorite segment.
Oh yeah, their favorite post of the week.
Post of the week. Now, this week was interesting. Now there was someone this week, and we're gonna make these anonymous because everyone likes to post on Facebook anonymously. Although this guy did not.
This guy did not post anonymously.
He
correct.
had 2 this week.
Yeah.
He had 2 this week. Now his first one was he wanted to put his impact screen in the washing machine.
I saw this post, and this was for me. My reaction, all I could do was hang my head and shake. I'd be like, I don't. Like, would it shrink?
Would it shrink? I mean, what's that material going to do? Do you put it on cold? Do you put it on hot? And
what if I add?
Me, like on my impact screen, I just know how like rigid it kind of is. It doesn't fold. Like it folds, but it's not going to fit in my washing machine.
I think if you jam it in your, I mean, my screen is 15 feet by 10 feet, right? So I think if I were to jam that thing into a washing machine and try to turn it on, I'd be buying a new washing machine.
You must have like a jumbo washing machine.
It's huge. It's giant. Yeah, I can't. I don't know why you put. I get you want to clear out ball mark and imperfections, and to return to clean white. But let's be honest, there's 9,000 posts about spin marks and burn marks on screens out there. It's not new to sim golf, and it's not, so. Hey.
But either way, he's intrigued.
He's intrigued. I use a steamer, I take a steamer and I go
think
by
that
every
makes
inch
the
of
most
it.
sense. The thing is, though, like I see all mine. Like when I first go down to my sim and I fire, like before I fire, I look at the screen and go, "Oh my god, that looks horrible." Then you turn it on and they all disappear.
You never see it again. Now I will tell you, in the vein of this post, like in the genre of this post, I do wash my clubs before I bring them down to the sim if I've been using them outside.
That's a rule for the guys that come over every night. They know I have the bucket out and they all scrub their clubs. They know.
Yep, I do not, because my first screen I ended up getting some dirt and stuff on it. I got it off obviously, but no, I wash my clubs before I use them downstairs. So.
And you got to clean your balls.
You got to clean your balls. Best part. I spent hours cleaning balls. It's great. I mean, they're the shiniest, cleanest around. So.
Yes. All right, we'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Post new.
So same guy.
Angry guy now.
Angry guy now. So I wish all courses were a core download part of Don't even tell me that storage is an issue when Call of Duty is like 200 gig. Having them there will save a ton of time, and you'll be able to present them better than the shit show we have now. Where are the course previews? Why did the courses stop doubling X%? Fix this. So obviously he does understand like what we call the trifecta, right? Which is GSPro makes the software we all play, which is basically golf ball physics. SGT, which is tournaments. The designers makes the courses. SGT hosts the courses. GSPro is pulls them in and you play them. So
I think we did a video on this.
We did.
If I were, the problem with this post is all this anger.
Don't be
well, for sure, but the anger is coming because he was trying to download the old course. He kept stopping at 1%. He couldn't.
Which the old course is, right? It's on my list to do.
It is on it's on your list to do, and it's been removed from the game.
You might get it by this time next year, maybe.
I thought that's your timeline for Kapalua.
I love you. You're my best buddy.
I knew you could take it. It's not, I'm about ready to roll out my 5th course in the last 4 months.
It's true.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't so angry.
People don't understand how community-oriented GSPro is. So community-oriented, and if you do this, like, you insult everybody. You insult everybody.
Well, I'm gonna take my GSPro fanboy hat off. I will admit one thing about his post that I somewhat agree with. I do wish the presentation of courses was better.
Trying to decide what to play is hard.
Trying to decide what to play is horrible. I shouldn't have to go to Discord or the internet to watch a flyover video. It should fly over inside the game. You know what I mean?
You should come to our show and watch our show.
Exactly. I do wish the presentation of courses in order what to play to decide is better. That is the extent of what I will give him on this post.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yep.
And then this one, which I tell you what, I don't want to make fun of him because first let me read this. I have my settings set to ultra. Is this the highest settings? Because I thought GSPro had 4K technology. Now we have no problem with people not understanding tech. We don't have any problem with people just I guess if you don't understand it, just admit you don't understand things and just ask for help.
I'm gonna say this, not knowing obviously this guy or anything, and maybe he watches our show. Please don't be offended, but it's like my grandfather posted this. I get you don't know anything about.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, and I felt like it was snarky. I felt like, hey, I've got my. I mean, I felt like what he wanted to say was, I have my stuff on ultra, which I think is the highest settings. Is this the same as 4K? Yeah, is this the same as 4K? Instead, it felt snarky. Like, I thought GSPro had 4K, and I don't have a 4K projector. I don't have a 4K computer capable of doing 4K, but I have it set to ultra. So I mean, another snarky R8. I don't think he meant to sound that way, but it came across that way to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone who was talked into getting GSPro from one of those other simulators, like TGC, and then fired up and said,
"This doesn't look great,"
"This doesn't
or
look
it
good."
doesn't look like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Where's the sliced bread?
And then I think inside of this post were a couple of comments.
Yes. And did we?
We're famous.
Yes.
Thank you, Alan. We're famous.
I don't know who Alan is, but I want to give him like a hug, a high five, and just like, dude.
I want him to come on the
Alan?
show.
Alan,
I want
you need
Alan
to
to
comment. You need to like. I want to like. Thanks, dude, for making me feel like a cool. Like, yeah.
I want Alan to join us for the first part of the show and like join us for a drink and share what he's drinking and yeah, exactly, and have a golf story with us.
Alan,
you know,
reach out to us. We would love to have you on the show. Thank you.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I don't know if you're a designer. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care.
Way, I just want to have a bourbon with you, dude.
I do too. Well, it's gonna turn out Alan is like, John Mayer in in hidden form.
Yeah, and I like the 7. So 7 people agree too. It's even better.
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
We have made it. I want all
7 of those people to come on.
Yes. Thank you, guys. I love it. I love it. All right. So must play. I gotta have you go first because I am.
I'm torn.
I don't know.
I'm torn between a couple of courses today. Oh my gosh, this one's hard.
I feel like I almost have to go back again and look at all of them.
Well, I'm secretly mousing through, as you can tell, mousing through them real quick just to see what I want to do.
So if I do escape here, I can go back. So let's go back. We can go all the way back here to the first here. So we've got here. Man.
There's some good courses this week.
Yeah, so Strong Design Studio made a solid showing with the first course.
Yep.
Jay Pruitt's
I thought Jay Pruitt's course was really good. I thought Bangini's course, Brookside, was really good. And two of those 3 we just mentioned were B3 courses. Let's consider that.
Yeah. Yeah. So are we like back to like we're going to do more than one MPAL now? Like there's only 6 courses.
Really good. There's only 6 right now. Like,
well, let me put this out here. My first one I thought like I really liked was Pac-Man's course. I really liked Pac-Man's course. So if I had to like Highland National Golf Club, I really liked, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you going Pac-Man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pac-Man for mine.
Okay.
Now, if I had to do 2,
you can do whatever you want. It's our own MPAL.
So here, I really like Orchard Hills too. Frankly.
Well, Orchard, I was so hard. I think Orchard is great. I think Brookside's great.
Jay Pruitt's good too.
And Genie's been close so many times on MPALs. Dunes is good, really good, really, really good.
Do we give? I think we could honestly give out. We could give out 5. I could give out 5 MPALs this week.
I'm going to give 2.
You're gonna give 2? Okay.
I'm giving 2, and then you can revisit yours.
Okay.
I'm giving my first MPAL to Jay Pruitt and Dunes. You said it best when you said when you loaded up that course in hole 1, your first thought was,
yes,
wow.
yes.
It was amazing. It looks that good. And I'm going to give my second MPAL to Bangini on Brookside because he is just, it's a really good course and he has gotten better and better and better in every single week. And I think it deserves it.
Okay.
Even though the cars weren't moving, fix the damn cars in V2. That's where I'm at.
I'm good. Those are like, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think those three are solid for this week.
I think they're solid. I think they're good.
Yep.
Yep. Congrats, guys. Congrats,
Yeah.
Bangini. Congrats, Jay Pruitt, and congrats, Pac-Man on MPOWs this week. As you
Yeah.
guys can tell, it was hard. It's really hard to decide.
Yeah. I wanted to give him one too. That was a
I
good
did too.
course too.
His course was really good too.
I love the detail in that course. I don't know. I might have to give him. I actually I'm gonna throw Run Pud Runs in there as well.
All right, there you go. So we got Pack Run. Good call.
Yeah.
Pack Run, Bangini, and Jay Pruitt.
So we got 4 this week.
4 MPOWs this week. God, that's a lot.
I got
For 6
I got no
courses.
problem with that because I honestly feel like the courses are really like
The courses are good, and I don't think there's any reason that we should limit ourselves to only one each if there are more than one good course.
And you know what I want? I want that MPAL list that we're coming out with, so that people can go and say, hey, I don't know what to play this week. I don't want to limit one on there.
Correct.
Because there was one that was just, I don't want to limit that. So.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Good. All right, my friend, have a wonderful holiday. And to everybody else out there, have a great 4th of July. Happy birthday, America.
Yeah, happy birthday, America. And if you're not celebrating, well, do something celebratory anyway. It doesn't have to be for America.
Correct.
Just do something fun. Go hit around.
Do something fun. Go play around the golf.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
See you, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.